Right. I think draft is starting up here, so we're going to jump into game number 2. Draft is where we're swapping sides to begin with. So again, already a solid call from our analysts. Red side here for SBTC Esports, much easier to try to punish for the matchup of Enper in that the top lane matchup. Assumably that's where their counter pick's going to go, so they can get something advantageous down there. We'll see where else they decide to land in terms of some of their picks. As there's no Lissandra ban, it's still available here for the side of GAM. They have not listened to the advice. The champion remains undefeated.
And yeah, they have also this V1 pick. I'm really interested also in the fact that GAM banned Rakan. That's like Zin's most played champion like all season. He's played like 15 times. So yeah, they are confident that they can win bot lane even without this Rakan matchup. They just, just to throw a wrench into Palette's game plan. And they picked the Zeri because, of course, now they are going to probably try SBTC to get the Lulu away in some way, and let's see how they reply.
Yeah, so I mean, there is maybe the chance that you're not expecting as high a priority on Lissandra for a blue side draft coming out of GAM, so maybe they're thinking they can save it for the next phase, but Gragas and Tristana early on, it's a very flexible option, but
yes,
this
Tristana
is going to be very interesting. I'm interested to see where they land, because if Lissandra comes out early, I would rather take the Gragas into it than the Tristana, but
this is a great answer, I think on the side of SBTC, because Gragas is actually a flex. They can put him like jungle, top, even mid, but the Tristana mid is what I absolutely love. This has been one of the key pocket picks for the O1, and we know that he can absolutely pop off. Now, popping off into Lissandra is significantly harder, so maybe not the smarter decision. Even you could have picked the Lissandra. That I like the Tristana, don't get me wrong, but picking the Lissandra was probably the smartest choice. And yeah, and now Levi is also on another comfort pick.
Maybe Tristana's hoping to get the pre-6 angle where you just play Assassin Tristana and just kill the Lissandra a little early on, and then try and snowball. I don't know. You had to predict the Lissandra coming through, but I think that's... Why are we picking Gwen this early? This is just...
Yeah, confusing.
Unless Gwen jungle is back, I don't get it.
Some Ren tech, probably.
Yeah. I see what makes this disastrous to me is that now on R4 you have to pick support to defend the Tristana flex, because if you don't, then effectively you're giving away both of your solo lanes, which have already been revealed to the side of GAM. You're giving away your bot lane, you already know what the bot lane role is, so if you pick, you're probably not getting a pure unadulterated counter. If you pick a mid, then it's okay, you're playing into Lissandra, what are you picking that's going to be good into Lissandra? I worry that they've given up too much information by picking basically, potentially both solo lanes and also the jungler, if they end up giving away what the Tristana's going to do, but again, then it gives counter pick to Zin in the support role.
But what if they pick a jungler and flex the Gragas to support? Yeah.
At that point, I think you've done too many swaps. I think at that point, you're just Red is drafting himself in a circle at that point.
Yeah, I'm perplexed
here. I don't know.
Because they have the option, the very obvious option to keep the counter pick for Enper. Instead, they decide to blind pick the Gwen, and so this means that SBTC really wants to focus on the bot lane now. However, they could have picked an AD carry already, because they already know that there's Zeri there, and yeah, they banned the Lulu. What can Zin pick now? Let me check. The Nautilus, of course, as Rebel mentioned. The Leona is still open. Not they have already a lot of engage on the side of GAM. So they go for the Jinx. This is also with the Xayah band. It's better than the Lucian. It's better than the Lucian Ami again. So yeah, so far, not the worst, but I'm still confused as to what is the SBTC game plan.
I feel like they can pretty much just run back Sion and pick Nautilus and then maybe run back Sion on the top side for Kiaya. Maybe not. I guess you have that Gwen matchup, but So what does Kiaya sort of default to here? Maybe he goes for the Gnar, that's a very Kiaya champion. Jace as well. The sort of ranged matchups definitely make a lot of sense for him, and now we have to see where SBTC throws their support. Braum's okay, but you're kind of really relying on this mid jungle to explode and then to carry you through to the point where Gwen and Jinx will take over, I suppose. I'm not sure what. I don't know.
I don't think Braum is a very notable R5 pick that you can put your star player on. But let's see now the swaps where they come to. I still think this is going to be Tristana mid and the Gwen top lane. I mean, there's options to play this like front to back also. But they rely a lot on hands this time, which in principle it's like good. We just told SBTC to give this agency to Emperor. However, it's like the GAM's draft is significantly easier to execute, in my opinion.
Yeah, SBTC didn't take them off anything that they had working for them in game number 1. Both of you with predictions, I guess, coming in. This feels like another GAM win on the way. Like, can SBTC actually make combat against this squad?
I want to know why Ren left and Serg came back, because this is Serg you're drafting. I just can't. I'm just confused. Yeah, the Braum pit R5, while good individually in the lane and good into the Nautilus, doesn't fix the rest of the problems with the composition, so it's easy GAM.
Look, all my money is on the Tristana. However, I already feel broke. I think GAM takes this one.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, let's get Carrix and Yue back out here to talk about this game number 2.
Wait, what's that? Ah, please get me my Carrix back. That is disturbing. Please, what is happening here?
It's Lissandra. Because that's all that's going to matter this game. They didn't ban the Lissandra again. Why don't they ban the champion your way? Just hit ban! It's not hard. Just ban it!
It's even worse than just Tristana. If you look at the 5 champions on GAM's composition, while the composition might not make the most sense as a 5-man or a 5-champion unit, it's literally the most comfortable champion for every single player on their team.
You banned Vi so that, oh no, Levi had to play Lee Sin. Oh, poor Levi. Ban the Lissandra!
I mean, if they win this game, I guess we have to shut up forever, but this is really confusing to me because it was so unbelievably obvious after watching their games that Nautilus Lissandra is the core identity. Zeri is by far Styles' best champion, like not even close. That's the only champion I would say, maybe with Ziggs, that he's on the same level as the best ADCs in our league. As SE is trying to make it spicy. Levi is going to be level 2 though. This is risky. Uh-oh.
It's very risky, but Zin's going low, gets that shield up.
No.
Slater's going to try and chase him down. First blood goes over to the Zeri. Zin, one more auto attack will finish him off. But Levi surfed over the wall. DNK on the way out. Dia1 actually comes in to try and assuage any doubt. So it is just a 1-for-1, but the first blood did go to Style.
Actually went way better than I expected. I thought the game was over after that one, but that was some Slater magic.
That looked like a GAM versus TES game 1 moment, but let's have a look at this.
Yeah, look at... Okay, so Levi, I really like what Levi did here. Focusing on getting to level 2 makes him so much stronger, and now suddenly it's really hard for the enemy team to fight. Very good flash from DNK to get over the other side of the red buff, so it's way harder for Levi to get on top of him. I think Levi could have tried to flash after him.
Oh, hang on, Enpa!
Ooh. This is spicy. Okay, this game already much more interesting than the last one. But we start off with a 1-for-1 kill trade, I guess, but I think it's still... Oh, never mind.
Oh,
this goes...
Style just dies.
This is huge.
That's a disaster.
No, that completely changes everything, because Jinx is not supposed to get early kills here. And with the Braum, this means they can never trade back into the Jinx. Because the Braum can always defend the Jinx, and she's now set up to scale very, very easily into the game. As we see how this transpired again, just a very aggressive flash. That was some Hylissang Braum play. That's lovely.
Playing him like an engaged support, you love to see it.
Yeah, that is a really good start. This is exactly what we needed to see. This is exactly what SE has to rely on. Their bot lane needs to dominate GAM's bot lane. GAM's bot lane has been fishy, has been iffy, especially the second half of the split. Xin, after an initial burst of form, has kind of gone back down to average, and Palat should have his number every single game. And then, of course, Slader is just a much better ADC than Style, especially when Style is not on Zeri. But even on the Zeri, we can see Slader can get the better of him. And now off to a 2-0 start, because he also got the early trade kill. This is now Slader's game. Slader has to be the one to get SBTC back on track, to win against GAM's most comfortable champions.
And of course, Slader is familiar with beating GAM in playoffs. One of the very few people that can actually say that, given his time on Flash in 2020. DNK invading Levi, does steal away the big Raptor, and Dia1 with permanent lane prio on the Tristana, always able to come and support him. Maybe this is how they deal with the Liss.
Yeah, and actually Tristana was one of my champions I had in my draft analysis and just champion analysis too, because for me, a lot of this matchup is decided by which mid laner can actually roam and enable their bot lane, mostly, which didn't really happen actually in game number 1, even though GAM got another Lissandra game. They didn't really transition it into bot lane advantages. It was more through jungle actually this time around. But the Tristana is yet again another champion that can get early priority over the Lissandra, which will give this Jinx a little bit more freedom to play her lane, to scale into the mid game. And that's the first step towards victory. Now, we still have to deal with the Lissandra in teamfights, which is not going to be easy, but this is probably the best start SBTC is ever going to get into this composition for GAM.
Yeah, and I mean, you're saying we still have to deal with the Lissandra in team fights. Obviously, you are correct, but you also have to deal with a 2-0 Jinx in team fights. And Jinx has sort of been around the world just unstoppable completely. It has been considered just an auto win, particularly in the LEC. Under the tower, they go. Slater taking a fair bit of damage, but DNK and Dia1 are here. The minions are being cleared out, but Styles about to get stunned up.
Oh, really good start.
Get locked up, he will get taken down. Dia1 gets the reset, gets on out.
Yeah. A bit cringe, the dive. That was not well played by Slater and Palette, but they still get the job done. They get the kill. They put Style even farther behind, and now this should also result into played. Actually, the play was supposed to also give them Dragon, but because they kind of fumbled the play a bit, the Dragon is not going to go into their pockets. So GAM instantly try to counterplay on the top side, and this will give Kiaya a decent chunk of change. This matchup should also be something he's very familiar with, but SBTC is here to defend. Enper's not level 6 though, that could be big.
It certainly could be. Dia1 needs to be really careful. Doesn't want to get on the wrong side of Carty, but GAM are just going to quite intelligently just slip away.
So this transition into topside instantly to defend against the dive from SBTC can hurt them, because they had another opportunity to get the early Dragon here if they just give up on top lane for a minute or two and just instantly run back to bot side. They are still stronger on the bot side, so that could have been the Dragon. So now the Dragon is completely late, and this Dragon is a big one. They have 2 ADCs and another attack speed based champion in the top lane, so that early Hextech Dragon would go a long way to give them so much power in the mid game. I think they should put a lot of priority onto this Dragon.
I agree, and I think they agree with you as well, your way, as they are moving towards it now. They'll get the Scuttle Crab, obviously helping a lot with vision. They've tagged the Dragon up. I don't think GAM can contest this one. I don't think they're going to try it.
Yeah, Levi's not 6 yet. That is probably the biggest mark they have to play for. Kati is 6, but only level 6 is not enough for Lissandra. That she probably needs another little bit of oomph behind her, because we know she's more of a setup champion. Her burst in the early game is really, especially look at her items. She's sitting on a ruby crystal, so there's no burst behind her combo whatsoever. So they do get away with the dragon. And now SBTC have kind of solidified their lead, even though the gold is surprisingly even.
Tier 1 is about to get a tower plate to himself as well, so the Tristana continuing to have a good lane matchup into Kati.
Yeah, Kati's just trying to
He's just
stay alive. Yeah, he's just trying to stay even or somewhat even in CS. Zin needs to be very careful. They can't overchase. But
in some trouble. Slater, he's low, has the lethal tempo pulled up. They're going to try and turn it around. They do it. The excitement comes in. Not enough to get them away from Zin as he keeps on going. Wants to drag Paulette down to the depths. But the minions say, get down, Mr. President. Get him out of there.
You can see how good Stahl is on this champion. He was so far behind. They put so much pressure on him in the early game, but he still knows, okay, we can actually kill them here. I'm level 6. They can't really do anything against me because I'm Zeri level 6 and I can chase forever.
Oh my word, hitting that last auto attack to get the Braum stun.
Yeah, Paulette also flashing on top of him because he knows we can't walk away from this Zeri. Zeri is too fast. We have to counterplay this here. So he makes the snap decision to flash on top of the Zeri. And Style actually doesn't realize that and doesn't flash away. If Style flashes away from that Braum disengage, he gets a double kill there. It's still a really good play, but unfortunately the kill doesn't go over to Style. The kill is collected by Zin's Ignite. So that's a shutdown not into Style's pocket, and yet another kill to Slater. So even though the play looked really good, and it was a very nice recognition of how strong you can be even from behind, it doesn't actually work out too well for GAM Spotling.
No, it doesn't. And you can see the difference between the ADCs right now as Slater has just completed his Kraken Slayer style on just the Noon Quiver. It's a huge effective difference between these ADCs.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Style may be saved by the fact that by the time the next objective comes up, oh, Kiaya taking a bit of a misplay there. Why did he step up? He's just dead.
That was horrible mechanical play from Kiaya. What was this?
That was shocking.
Okay.
And under the tower, GAM wants to go, summoning the Herald. Paulette dodges away. Glacial Fisher. They're just going to try and turn it around onto Cardi. Not going to be able to manage it at first. In goes Tier 1, but gets it blown up. Style able to join the fight from 3 screens away. Slater going so low. Style zapping them all down. Paulette, last man standing, stunned up under tower 4. Now Rocket comes in, steals the kill away onto Style. Cardi, low health on the run. Paulette wants to stun him up. Can they get that last 2 hit? No, they can't. Zin targeted next, trying to get away. Levi cycles his way back through. Down goes the Nautilus, gets the Jinx excited. And your way, this is some classic VCS.
Ooh, we have finally started the series. Game 1 never happened. Let's forget about that snoozer because here we are. We are back to our fighting meta, and what a walk on the edge for both teams. That was absolutely incredible. You just pointed out the item difference between the ADCs, but these fights do not look like Style is behind in items. Look how confidently he's playing this Zeri, and his chase was unbelievably effective. The Slater is a whole mythic item against just a Noon Quiver, but he doesn't look like it. Slater's just walking away, trying to dodge Style's auto attacks. So unfortunate Style can't get the kill, and then he goes down to the Rocket. This resets Slater, of course. Slater able to chase, but look at Slater's HP. But if Slater is a little bit healthier, they just clean the fight up instantly, but he can't really step into them. He almost goes down to Zin's Q here if he gets... Oh, it's spicy. But in the end, he does get another 2 kills. So Slater, even though he looks kind of weak, he's getting more and more kills, and this Jinx is gonna be a menace.
And your way, I'd like to ask you an important question. What were they fighting over?
Kills, no?
Who cares?
We need kills. They were bored from the last game. They needed to have some action. No, actually, GAM came there to get the tower plates, right? And to deny some of the gold from Jinx as well, and they succeeded. They're ahead in gold, actually.
Oh, Dia 1 in trouble, but
Oh, good
lovely
flash.
buffer on the jump, and the flash gets him out of
Wait.
it. Zin actually super low. He's just going to die.
Where's Levi going? Levi, hello?
Levi, what are you doing?
Huh? Okay, another one.
Style, he's in... Okay, GAM, you can just FF. Like, you don't need to do it... Don't make it this obvious, guys.
That was a shocking series of play, and I shouldn't have said GAM was ahead in gold, because of course they just throw it all out the window.
Can someone please clip that last 20 seconds or so? Because I genuinely think it might be the worst passage of play in any region ever.
Absolutely shocking dive. I mean, honestly, it was well played for Dia1 to get away from the Lissandra as quickly as possible, but everything that transpired afterwards was just a shocker. And Enper coming in to steal 2 kills away. One of those should have gone to Dia1, who goes down in response, just for good measure. That was a bit too much of an advantage for his team, so he had to give them a chance. Good collapse from the side of Kati. But let's see this one again. Kati doesn't actually ultimate instantly under tower, which is a huge mistake. They thought they could wait with the ultimate. Maybe they just wanted to...
What on earth are you doing?
Yeah, what is Levi doing? That is the real question here. That was... He could have just walked away. Like, his jungle was... That was all warded, littered with his own wards. He could have jumped to one of the pink wards you can see in the bot side jungle. Why was he walking back under tower? Well, we'll never know.
That's insert. There's no words. There are no words your way. But despite that passage of play, they're only 1,000 gold down.
Yeah, that's also something that has kind of been one of the hallmarks of GAM's play. Even when they're behind 5, 6, 7 kills, they're usually either up in gold or still very close. And remember, one of the games against, actually the very first game they played against Cerberus, the one they lost, they got behind in 5 or 6-0 in the early game, but then the late game was incredibly close. So you can't count out GAM, especially if you think about the champions they're on. We all know these players are excellent mechanically on their champions. Yes, okay, I know, we have just seen this game together, and we have seen some missteps. We have seen Kiaya completely lose his mind in top lane. We've just had a look at Levi's Lee Sin, but that's decision-making more than mechanics. So they can still absolutely put together an incredible game and win this game out of nowhere, even against a 6-1 Jinx.
They can, but it's really hard because the other beneficiary of these players is the Gwen. Enper is 3-0, able to scale up. Enper has always been a big game player. He is super, super clutch. So moving forward onto Zin. One more auto attack will do it. Won't quite get there. Now coming in from the side, Kiaya landing some poke, but I don't think there's a fight here.
Nah, they're too weak to fight right now. They would need to isolate one target and try to rely on Lissandra passive resets, which is possible. Oh, Kati, here he goes.
Oh, in they go. A lot of damage being dealt. Kati having to self-ult. He's going to go down to the Gwen, trading back onto DR1.
Never mind.
Jinx does go down, though. Levi finds the Q. Huge shutdown over to the GAM jungler.
This has to be the weakest 6-1 Jinx I've ever seen in my life. She just looks so weak in every team fight. But Slater collects yet another kill. The fight, I mean, it looked good at the start because Kati gets a huge AoE on this W, but there's still the tower. You are playing into the tower way too much, GAM. They lose to the tower again. It ends with a 2-for-2, which doesn't really do anything for their game state. Yes, they get 2 summoners out of Jinx, which might be the one thing they can really look back on here, but they don't get an objective. They can't really get the tower afterwards either. So at the moment, it's just a 2-for-2 trade. They now have a window of opportunity for 4 minutes, roughly, to try and get on Slater and maybe snowball that into a significant advantage. Get Slater, get the dragon in 1.5 minutes, and then we can talk again.
I mean, we'll see. I think this is a really hard game to talk about your way. There's been a lot of very silly things going on, but we can confirm that GAM will get a Rift Herald at the very least.
Yeah. They are still getting objectives. This is some GAM magic going on here. But of course, the enemy team is probably a little bit scared now because Slater is missing both of his summoner spells. And yes, he does have a Braum. Yes, Lissandra just used a lot of her tools to get the engage, but still, there's no cleanse on that Jinx. So Lissandra pressing R and laughing at her is still an absolutely useful play there for the side of GAM. So yeah, I think SBTC is just going to chill for a few minutes and try to get close to the dragon. Also using their side lane pressure, as we can see. Tier 1 transitioning over to the bot lane. He hasn't had the greatest of games, but he's kind of the beneficiary of his team winning in general.
He is, as Carty moving in. Paulette a little bit caught out, but puts up the shield, blocking a lot of damage. Can they find the last hit? The depth charge will do it. And Pernaljo turning it around. DNK flies in, lovely stuff. Can they get that kill? They can. Jinx is excited. Gragas has gone down. Slater hitting over onto Zin. Look at the health bars. They're so low. Slater moving forward. Can he find just a little bit more? No, it's okay. The Lee Sin shield was enough.
Yeah, because that didn't crit.
Yeah.
That would have been an instant report from. If my jungler did that to me as mid lane, I died to a crit there. That is an insta report. That is a novel typed in chat. Holy moly, Levi, please.
We're unlocking. Yeah, if that'd have to be, we're unlocking some ancient slurs. But anyway, let's have a look at the replay.
So the focus on Paulette actually is not too bad because they fight here in a weird corner where the enemy team has a big problem reacting, but then DNK finds the greatest E flash we've seen in a while, and that changes everything in the fight. And even though Slater gets grabbed, Zin is kind of alone and they isolate him. He doesn't... does he die? Yeah, he does die. And now this is Jinx Tristana Dreamland. They can chase forever. Unfortunately, don't have the vision. And SBTC walk away with another fight, but they did lose the dragon. So once again, the winning team doesn't really get much out of it.
They don't for now, though, Yue. It's only for now. As every dragon is going to be like this. I think that's the reality we live in. Every dragon is going to be on a knife's edge. Slater going second item RFC. I'm not a fan.
So... Jinx usually goes second item attack speed, right? And I don't like what you just did now.
No,
that is disgusting. Okay, never mind.
He's just scared.
Okay, this Jinx is refusing to build any damage, and but the next item, Style is gonna hard out damage the enemy ADC who has 8 kills. What is Slater doing? He shouldn't be this scared. He has so many defensive tools in his. I hate when ADCs do this, but now Kiai is in trouble because. Tier 1 doesn't get the reset. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, this Jinx has a Braum. Last pick Braum to protect her. She also has a Gragas that can peel for her. Even Tristana can peel for her in some situations. And she goes third item GA on 8 kills.
That's speaking to Slater's mentality. I feel he is terrified in this game. He shouldn't be that scared. Just go Bloodthirster. If that's what you really need, go IE. But if you really think you need a defensive item, go Bloodthirster. I think go IE.
Yeah,
I can't agree with this.
Yeah, this is really strange. I mean, they do have a lot of damage on the rest of the champions, to be fair. They still have Enper building almost the highest damage build you can go for. Oh, DNK is looking for something. They need to be careful about Carty, but they are clumping together, which is good. Also, Paulette can kind of completely take Carty out of the equation with his E, blocking the Lissandra E. But yeah, they do have some damage on the other champions, but the Jinx being this accelerated and then not playing for damage is really weird. Both teams posturing for something. I'm not entirely sure what, but they're just walking away now again.
Oh, Kiaya landing some nice poke. I don't think there's going to be anything that really comes of it, but it does give GAM control over the top side of this river. They can threaten a Baron, even though they obviously will probably not start it. 2 minutes to the next dragon, and Yulwei, this might be asking an impossible question given how this game is going. How are they going to spend the next 2 minutes?
I mean, actually, look at the gold right now. Look at the map position. I think GAM is actually ahead in this game. It's insane to say that after what has happened, but now they need to be careful. They need to make the disengage happen.
They're
And
thinking about this. Cardi doing so well there, locking up 3, but Emperor wants to turn it around. Moving in, Cardi will go down. That should get the resets rolling. Style knocked away. Lovely dredge line, depth charge go back in. Levi kicks away Emperor. He's trying to do it all. Shock blast onto DNK, and they can't find anything more.
So SBTC really wanted another kill there to go for Baron. Now Baron is a bit too risky, I think, so they will have to reset once again. It's another fight that kind of doesn't result in anything because the next dragon comes up in 1 minute 20. Let's look at the summoner spells Enper used quite a bit. With the ghost down for the next team fight, that's not great. DNK also doesn't have the E flash to get on top of Carti or Style. They did get Carti's flash, which will be huge because Slater does have his. So Slater placed this correctly, should never be in range of Carti, especially with Braum being able to block Lissandra E. So I think SBTC is in a decent position to fight. They are lacking a little bit of their damage spikes they should be sitting on. And as I said earlier, with GAM actually being even in gold and Slater trolling his build, I think GAM might be the stronger team in teamfights. The huge concern right now is Enper. Because Enper on 4-0 and 4-2 items finished, he is now the main carry of the team.
He absolutely is, and this is something that was pointed out earlier, even though we've obviously been talking about the jinx given the KDA, was Enper being the beneficiary of so many kills as well. Has those 2 items, as you said. Dragon on the map, and SE aren't interested in it. Or on the map in 15 seconds, I should say. But SE are already posturing towards Baron instead.
SE kind of gave GAM free entrance into the bot side river, so GAM now with better inside track towards the dragon. Unfortunately for them, Infernal map makes
it very fast.
Yeah, but Infernal map actually makes it easier for SBTC to react here because
too late.
They lost though. Yeah, it's done.
It's just too late. They had to go to the Baron. They had to commit to the play.
And they're just
they don't let tagged up. Style is being zoned fairly well by DNK. Levi moves over to defend him. Carti low, but can just self-ult, stopping all the damage.
Okay, that's no Lissandra ult now. Can they go for Baron? They might actually
that's low.
Fancy it. He's only a Braum, though. SBTC is not doing it. They're losing objective after objective for nothing. They should not be in a position to lose this so easily. They just watched on. This was the classic thing people always flame some bottom tier NA teams for, where you go to the objective, you don't contest, but you also don't do anything on the other side of the map, so you essentially just wasted time. The ultimate from Carti is almost halfway up again, so they didn't really get anything there. They need to force a fight right now.
They're going to try. Zin has the bomb on him, but no follow-up available. Again, you have to start hitting Baron. That's the only way you're forcing a fight here.
Emper with a tower could make it easy for him to walk to Baron. They finally started it. Can they keep Levi out of the pit?
That is much, much easier said than done. He is on this Lee Sin. He is the maestro of Baron Steel. Zin going to be taken down. Cardi moves into the backside, tries to get something done, but has to self-ult on the other side. DNK has gone down. The jungler is gone. What can we do? Slater moving forward. He's excited, throwing rockets, flashing forward. He finally found his balls your way. He's got himself a triple kill. Moving forward onto Kiaya. Next target found. Next target killed. 4 kills for SE, and they'll go to Baron.
As they finally win a team fight against GAM, and they will move with the Baron into a position where they can finally win a game too. They have taken 2 games off GAM, and one of their series was very, very close in the 3rd game as well. The first game almost looked to me like GAM was off to another 3-0 towards the finals, but SE is not done yet. They are going to strike back, get the Baron a 6k gold lead, a triple kill for Slater, who is now forced to build good items because all the bad items are out in the shop. And this team fight might change the texture of the whole series.
It might.
Look at Slater. He's so aggressive. This is what we want to see. He didn't really have the damage, but if you get enough auto attacks, then it doesn't even matter if you build an early IE or not. Not the optimal build, but now finally in an unbelievably strong position.
And it was really well done by the rest of the team shutting Style down as well. So he did 490 damage. That is nothing.
Yeah, GAM forced to fight with no good Lissandra setup, with Style still behind in items. He was actually kind of close to a third item. They could have been better than Style's build, even though Style is sitting now on 11 kills, I believe. But Style is weirdly close in itemization, because of the whole item that went into defensive stats for Slater. But now he should be ahead of the curve, even with one item difference.
As the tower goes down, Inhib next. They've still got Baron, still got a big wave, but they're not going to overextend. Nothing too insane. Slater, so incredibly strong despite interesting build choices. Levi finds himself a way out of the potential pincer. SE, I don't know how much more they can really find out of this Baron buff. They've only got a minute and a half left on it. That should get them into the next dragon quite nicely, though.
Yeah, finally the dragon shouldn't really go their way. They kind of lost the last dragon because of fun-built macro, so they can make up for it now with just better team fighting, better items, just stronger champions. They just have to walk down the river, and all GAM can do is really try to steal with Levi. But if Levi lands the steal, then suddenly there's a decent potential for GAM to come back with a 4 Infernal Drake's Infernal Soul. That would make them insanely strong, even with their composition getting outscaled by what SBTC has brought to the table in this game. 4 Infernal Dragons is definitely something that can kind of get you over the hump.
Yeah, I think 4 Infernal Drakes with how accurate Kiaya has been with these shock blasts. His scoreline doesn't really show it, but this has been a very good Jace game. Enpa has 2, but he's got friends, so he's going to turn this around, puts up the W. Teleport coming in from Cardi. Can they get away? There's the Lissandra ult used. Enpa going gold. Dia1 getting a reset. Moving out of this one, and here comes DNK. Rocket will miss, but GAM are getting blasted into space.
The attempt I don't hate for GAM. Just try to make something happen. Try to get one pick to move into Dragon. But it gets counterplayed. Too many tools in Enpa's arsenal. He had the Zhonya's. He was 4-0 before the fight started. He was just a little too strong for them to make this pick happen. I don't hate the play. Just a little bit of desperation showing in GAM. And they will lose this game. Their second game in playoffs. That will go to the enemy team. SBTC equalize the series at 1-1 with Slaydown, Jinx, and Enper and Gwen.
Well, it turns out you don't have to ban the Lissandra. You just have to smash them everywhere else and have a 5-1 Jinx at 10 minutes. That's easy enough, right?
Let's see if they can repeat.